Welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about a lot of drugstore products that I really like and putting them on my face in a all drugstore look. So if you want to see what products I've been loving and what look I come up with, then just keep watching. Alright, so this is going to be a little bit more of a casual video. This is really just talking about a lot of products that I really like from the drugstore. I haven't had a ton that I just love for a while, and it seems like lately I've been trying out a lot more drugstore products, and I've really found ones that I'm reaching for over my high-end ones. So I thought I would share this with you and come up with a look as well. So the first thing I'm going to use is this Milani Prime Light. This is actually one of the only products I'll be using today that I'm not just head over heels for. My only reason is it's not quite as moisturizing. I think there was a more moisturizing one and I should have gotten it. But I got this one because it was like a radiance kind of one, but it is a strobing primer, which it does say. I just didn't really think it through, but it's very similar to like the MAC strobe cream where it's literally, I don't know if you can see it. It almost is like a highlighter infused, like a white highlighter infused in it. So I will use it. But it's definitely not my favorite. I still go for my Hangover RX or just using, I've been using the L'Oreal Hydra, it's like the Hydra Source moisturizer that's in the pump, and I really do like that one. I think it works really well. It's kind of like a gel-based one, and it works really well with foundations, but today I am using the Milani Prime Light. So I found two different foundations that I'm really liking from the drugstore right now. One is a little bit more expensive, but this one first is the Revlon Colorstay in the shade 130 Porcelain. And I got this a while back. You can see it does not match me anymore. So I'd been mixing it pretty heavily with this one, which is another foundation I've really been liking, and it's called, it's the number 7 Stay Perfect Foundation, and it is in the shade Warm Ivory. And this one you can get at Target or you can get at Ulta. I believe it's about $12.99. But I've really been liking mixing these, but I decided to pick up another shade, which this may be too dark. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to try it out. This is the shade Nude. From Revlon. I was thinking I had a darker shade originally, not porcelain, so I kind of jumped up a little too much. It's always hard with drugstore foundations finding your match, but if it is too dark, I'm going to just mix it with the lighter. So to apply this, I'm going to use this L'Oreal Beauty Sponge. I actually just bought one to replace it today. It comes in this packaging. This is the normal size, and this is just washed and damp. But this, I think, is my favorite drugstore beauty blender knockoff. I'm considering doing like a battle of the sponges type of video because I have a lot that I've been trying. So if that's something you'd be interested in seeing, then just comment down below and let me know, because I'm considering filming that. I just don't know if it would be the most helpful video, just because to me a lot of the times the whole thing with the sponges is preference. I feel like all of them do a pretty good job. Any of them that absorb water enough to like grow seem to do a good job of putting on makeup. It just seems to kind of be more preference of texture and shape. But if you do want to see, I've tried out a lot of them more recently, so if you want to see that, then like I said, comment down below and I will film that. But I'm going to go in with the shade Nude with this. I'm going to just pump some on the back of my hand. Alright, and let's see how dark this is. Actually, that might work. Ever since my sisters had spring break, I've gotten a little bit darker, and I try to actually keep sunscreen pretty heavily on my face, so my face always ends up quite light, and then you can see like my chest and my arms get a little bit darker, just from being out in the sun some. I didn't mention, this is the normal dry formula. I do have dry skin, so I go with that. I know a lot of people who have oily skin really like the oily formula, but I do like this one a lot. And it isn't super heavy. It has SPF 20, which will be good. I'm going to Florida next week, and I'll probably pack this as my foundation the whole time for Disney World, because it's not super duper heavy. I feel comfortable wearing it in the parks, but it's not so light like a BB cream where it's going to be gone halfway through the day, but it's not so heavy like a like the all-nighter from Urban Decay or something like that, that it really feels like you're wearing makeup. I feel like this is a really good kind of in-between, just pretty kind of natural foundation, although this does have quite a bit of coverage, as you can see. And I'm still working off that one pump. That's another video I'm considering doing, is a how I pack my makeup and my carry-on. I've done a like travel makeup bag a long time ago, but now I've really kind of pared down the products I bring, and I always travel and carry-on. So if you want to see how I pack a carry-on, let me know that too, because I am considering filming that. I'm going to be gone, like I said, for a full week. my videos are kind of sporadic to begin with, but I may be able to film some and have them go up next week. We'll just have to see, but if you do want to see that video, please let me know, because I'd love to film it for you if you would like to see it. For me, anytime I go packing, like lately, I've just been on a ton of packing videos. I feel like it really like preps you for your trip, and it kind of gets you thinking. I like to really think out what I'm going to pack for a trip, just because I'm kind of weird like that. And like I said, I can pack carry-on, so I feel like the more prep I put into it, the easier it is to pack light. But yeah, for like the last week, I'm not even packing for like 3 more days, and I've just been watching tons and tons of packing videos, looking up packing tips on Pinterest, looking at capsule wardrobes for Disney World. Like, I'm just kind of over... I don't know why it like preps me for packing. I get excited about packing. It's kind of weird, but there's something you may not have known about me. I'm really weird about packing, and I like to research packing every single trip. Even though I pretty much have it down how I pack, I still like to look up and see the exact same tips over and over again. I don't really know why. It's kind of weird. For concealer, I've been using this number 7 Radiant Glow Concealer, and I have the shade 2. I don't know. I like this. I'm kind of still in between on it. It's very similar. I haven't actually tried it, but I've heard it's very similar to the Touche Eclat. So it's not a high coverage concealer. So I wouldn't buy it expecting it to cover everything. But for days that you're just wanting to put a little bit of concealer on or something like that and just kind of help. Like if you're not wearing foundation and you're just wanting to kind of cover up your dark circles, this would be a good one because it would blend into your skin pretty well. For my acne, I'm going to actually use a Nars concealer because I don't have anything that's high enough coverage to really help with that, and I am going somewhere tonight. I have a kindergarten graduation to go to tonight. Hello, Sophie. So I do want to kind of cover up a little bit better. But for concealer, I've been using this other L'Oreal sponge. I haven't repurchased this one yet, but it's got this kind of curve to it. I really like to use the curve for blending out my concealer, and I like to use the flat side for powders. And I kind of like how I can differentiate it. And then this is really good for like dipping into pots. I'm just going to blend this out and on my eyelid as well. You can see it just kind of brightens the area, and it has a bit of a reflect to it, so it just kind of makes light reflect off of the area and makes your under eye look less dark. And then for my acne, I'm going to go into, I've really been liking, this isn't Drugstore, but this is the Nars Soft Matte. I think it helps a lot with covering up acne. I'd been using just like my under eye concealers, like the Tarte Shape Tape, but I don't think it was doing quite as good of a job. My acne is actually finally clearing up. All last week I've had really bad acne all in my chin area, which that's really the only place I get acne, but it was just like all over, and it was like just bump, 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 bump. I don't know, I hadn't had it like that in a long time. But it is finally clearing up. I actually used 2 of the Yes to Tomatoes mask. I don't know if that was the thing that helped clear it up, but it did clear up really fast once I started kind of using treatments on it. And then I used the Glam Glow, the one in the white, one day, and that helped a lot too. Alright, for face powder, I have the NYX HD powder, and then I also have the Wet n Wild. I really like to use this one under my under eye, and I like to use this on the rest of my face. Under, I'm going to go in that sponge and use just the flat side and just kind of pounce it straight into the powder, and then just go under my eye. I find that doing your under eye powder like this really helps to reduce creasing. If I'm kind of more in a rush, I'll just use a brush, but for the most part, I do like to use a sponge. For the rest of my face, I have this Wet n Wild powder, and it is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder, and I have the shade Warm Light, and I'm going to use this Sephora Pro Precision Powder Brush, and it's the number 59. But this I like because it's for people who have dry skin. It's not just packing on a ton of powder. It doesn't hold a ton of powder in the bristles, so it's not just packing it on everywhere, but it still lets you set your liquid foundation. I feel like whether you have dry skin or not, you really should set your liquid foundation, because otherwise it can just kind of move around, and it just kind of even leaves like a sticky feel when you touch it for the rest of the day. So I like to set any of my foundations, BB creams, any of it with powder. So for bronzer, I'm going to be using the Rimmel Natural Bronze. This one is in the shade Sun Bronze. This I had a long time ago. I don't remember what shade because there's like 3 or 4 of them that I've seen. But I do like the formula of this. I also like the Stay Matte powder that comes in the same container. But this is just the Drugstore bronzer that I have at the moment. If you ever kind of go in heavy and you notice like parts like here that are a little bit too much, you can just go back into your powder brush and it'll help blend everything out without putting more of the bronzer on your face. So one of the drugstore products I've really been loving is this Almay blush. This is the Smart Shade Powder Blush in the shade Coral. I haven't tried any of the other shades. I probably should because I really do like this Coral one. I like that even though it has like the brush and mirror in it, it still is a pretty compact blush. So I'm just using this IT Cosmetics brush and I just kind of put it towards the back of my face. I think this is a really pretty shade for summer because it kind of gives you that brighter look and it's not too harsh and it really blends in super easy. It's not overly pigmented where you're going to end up with like really bright streaks on your face or anything like that. I just think it is really nice and like I said, it's easy to blend out, so it's hard to make a mistake with that one. The product that I've really been using a lot since buying them is the Revlon Colorstay eyeshadows. I actually have 6 of them now in various colors. I originally had 3, but I mostly like the shade 715 and the shade 720 for using as a base. 720 I use more for like a smoky eye, and 715 I can use more on everyday. This one's got a little bit more of like a warm brown tone to it, and this one's got a little bit more of kind of like a gray to it. So for today I'm going to go into 720, which is this bit of a darker shade, and I'm going to use a brush that is kind of, it's a little similar I guess to like the matte 2 and 7, but it's just like a synthetic kind of fluffy brush that's also tapered, so it's good for placing and blending out cream shadow like this. So I'm going to put it in the pot and then go straight into the eye, and I'm mostly focusing this on the lid, but I am going to blend it up a little bit into the crease. I'm going to go ahead and zoom y'all in so you can see the eye makeup a little better. Okay. Right, and I'm going to just do the same thing to the other eye. If you notice, when I first place the product, I go into the center of the lid just because I don't want the inner corner to be too dark, and I'll go and blend that out at the end when there's less product on the brush. Alright. Okay, so now it looks like someone punched me, but that is why this is not where we're stopping. The eyeshadow that I've really been using a lot, and it's kind of funny because I have a similar Nars product that I end up picking this one up over. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon in Silent Treatment, and the #1 reason I like this is this color right here. It's kind of similar to like Satin Taupe, but it has a bit more purple to it, I feel like. But I wear this a ton. I wear it just every day by itself. I'll just do this one, but if I wanted to make it more dramatic, I'll go in with this one as well, and then this I use as like an inner corner highlight and brow bone highlight. Alright, so just using that exact same brush, there's not much on it, so it's not wet from the cream product or anything. I'm going to just go into the eyelid shade, and I'm going to place that all over the lid. And then just with whatever's left on the brush, I'm going to just kind of start blending it into the crease. When I'm not talking through this and I'm just kind of doing it pretty quickly, I can get this look done in probably like 8 to 10 minutes with like eyeliner and everything. And I feel like it would, right now it doesn't look very special, but I feel like by the end of it, it looks pretty brought together. It looks like you're wearing makeup, which is usually what I'm kind of going for. I want to look like I at least put on some makeup, especially on my eyes. So with a It Brushes Feralta 220 brush, I'm going into that same shade and just putting it in the lower lash line. Using a MAC 239, I believe is what this is. It's rubbed off a little bit. I'm going to go into the brow bone shade and use that to highlight my brow bone and my inner corner. This is just like a very soft pink color, so it's not very harsh for highlighting, but it still brightens up pretty well. Right, and for the third shade in the palette, I'm going in with something like this. It's a little bit more of a dense crease brush, and I'm going to go into that dark shade and mostly just focus it on the outer corner. So if I was wearing this every day, I would skip this step and just put on mascara and call it good. And I probably could even just skip that cream base as well, and it'll make it a little bit less dark. But for going somewhere, I like to use this darker one just to kind of add extra dimension to my eyes. And then once there's not much on the brush anymore, you can really blend out that color. But try not to pull it too much into the crease or too much onto the lid, because it will kind of muddy everything up. And then with a little smudge brush, I'm going to just kind of go in on my lower lash line pretty tight, kind of like an eyeliner. Go ahead and zoom y'all in so you can see the eye makeup a little better. Okay. Right, and I'm going to just do the same thing to the other eye. If you notice, when I first place the product, I go into the center of the lid, just because I don't want the inner corner to be too dark, and I'll go and blend that out at the end when there's less product on the brush. It looks like someone punched me, but that is why this is not where we're stopping. The eyeshadow that I've really been using a lot, and it's kind of funny because I have a similar Nars product that I end up picking this one up over. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon in Silent Treatment, and the number one reason I like this is this color right here. It's kind of similar to like Satin Taupe, but it has a bit more purple to it, I feel like. But I wear this a ton. I wear it just every day by itself. I'll just do this one, but if I want to make it more dramatic, I'll go in with this one as well. And then this I use as like an inner corner highlight and brow bone highlight. So just using that exact same brush, there's not much on it, so it's not wet from the cream product or anything. I'm going to just go into the eyelid shade, and I'm going to place that all over the lid. And then just with whatever's left on the brush, I'm going to just kind of start blending it into the crease. When I'm not talking through this and I'm just kind of doing it pretty quickly, I can get this look done in probably like 8 to 10 minutes with like eyeliner and everything. And I feel like right now it doesn't look very special, but I feel like by the end of it, it looks pretty brought together. It looks like you're wearing makeup, which is usually what I'm kind of going for. I want to look like I at least put on some makeup, especially on my eyes. So with a It Brushes Feralta 220 brush, I'm going into that same shade and just putting it in the lower lash line. Using a MAC 239, I believe is what this is. It's rubbed off a little bit. I'm going to go into the brow bone shade and use that to highlight my brow bone and my inner corner. This is just like a very soft pink color, so it's not very harsh for highlighting, but it still brightens up pretty well. And for the third shade in the palette, I'm going in with something like this. It's a little bit more of a dense crease brush, and I'm going to go into that dark shade and mostly just focus it on the outer corner. So if I was wearing this every day, I would skip this step and just put on mascara and call it good. And I probably could even just skip that cream base as well, and it'll make it a little bit less dark. But for going somewhere, I like to use this darker one just to kind of add extra dimension to my eyes. And then once there's not much on the brush anymore, you can really blend out that color. But try not to pull it too much into the crease or too much onto the lid, because it will kind of muddy everything up. And then with a little smudge brush, I'm going to just kind of go in on my lower lash line pretty tight, kind of like an eyeliner. So I just realized I forgot to go in with highlight, so before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and do that. This is the NYX Duochromatic Snow Rose, and I just go in, this is a Morphe M510, and just use a little bit of it on the tops of my cheekbones. So you could put on mascara and this eye look would be done at this point as well, but I actually want to try out this shade right here that I got today. This is the Revlon Colorstay in 740. I had all the other ones before this, but this one I picked up specifically today, and it's this really pretty purple, so I'm going to just put a little bit of it on my lid. So just kind of where those two colors meet right here, I'm going to just put a little bit of this to add a little bit extra shimmer and a little more color. So there are two different eyeliners I've really been enjoying from the drugstore. Both of them are from Maybelline, and this one is the Master Precise Curvy. This is what I've been using for liquid liner. The shape of the tip of it makes it seem like it would be really hard to do eyeliner, but I find it really easy. You can see it's thin on one side and it's fat on another, but I feel like it curves your eye really easily, that it doesn't skip or drag. It kind of is easy to kind of curve around your eye. And then the other one is the Master Precise Skinny, and it comes in this hot pink thing, but it is a black eyeliner. This one is really good if you're like me and you have hooded eyelids. If I go too crazy with the eyeliner, all you see is eyeliner when my eyes are open. So this one you can really get a very small line right up against the lashes, and it's also really good for tight lining the lashes. So today I'm going to tight line with this one, and then I'm going to go on top with the liquid one. So both of the mascaras that I've been using from the drugstore lately are very, very affordable. The first one is by Wet n Wild. It is the MegaSlim Skinny Mascara, and this one I like to use on my bottom lashes. I may not purchase this one again. I've been enjoying using it, but I only use it on my lower lashes, and most of the used to I had to use a lower lash mascara, and now I feel like I've gotten used to using just a regular mascara on my bottom lashes, so I don't feel like this is a have-to-have kind of product, but considering the price, it's a good one to have. It doesn't give you a super bold look on your lower lashes. It kind of just blackens them a little bit and kind of spreads them all out. So if you want that really dramatic bottom lashes, then you're going to want to just go in with your regular mascara. And that one for me is the False Lashes Mascara Extreme Volume and Curl by Essence. I think this was only like $3.99 at Target. It has a curved brush. There's multiple that are from this False Lashes, kind of in this tube. There's one that has like a orange bottom, whereas this one has the pink bottom, but this one is the curved one. And I really like it. I think it does a really good job of like spreading out your lashes, but also making them super black and dramatic. You can see mascara and eyeliner just makes the hugest difference when it comes to your eyeshadow, especially if you use false lashes, then it just completely changes the look. So for lips lately, I've really been enjoying Colourpop, and I haven't been a huge Colourpop person. I've gotten a few of their eyeshadows, or the ones that were actually in the pots that were like the cream kind of consistency. They're a little odd. And then I had the highlighter that was the same formula, and I didn't keep any of those over time. I ended up passing on them, but I really have been enjoying these Colourpop Ultra Satin Lips. I actually have 8 of them now. I bought 6 that just came in recently because they were doing, I think it was 3 for $12 with free shipping for all their lip products, so I ended up getting 6 for $24, which I thought was a really good price. So the ones that I have so far, the first 2 I got were Dopey and Lion King. Dopey was a little bit darker than what I was wanting, so that's why I placed another order. And then Lion King is kind of like this bright raspberry color. And then I picked up Magic Wand, which is a really popular nude, and it's probably what I'm going to wear today. And then also there is Strut, which is supposed to be a dupe for Bow and Arrow. I actually may do this one, but it's got this like mauve-y brown to it. Then we have Little Stitches, I think that's how you say it, and it is like a mauve pink color, but I wore this yesterday and I really like this one. Alright, then we have Chandelier, which is a really pretty kind of like peachy color, peachy pink color, and it's a little bit on the brighter side, but it's not too terribly bright. So I haven't actually tried this one on yet, but I'm excited for this one. I really like these type of colors in the summer. And I got 2 kind of darker shades. This one is Barracuda. It's very similar to the new Too Faced one in Suck It. That's the name of it. It's a terrible name, but it's very similar to that one by Too Faced that they just released. I actually now have both of them. I didn't realize how similar they were, but it's a really pretty, kind of a neutral, I don't even know what this would be, like a red and a purple and a brown all kind of mixed together, but it's not super duper dark. And then this one is more of like a muted red color. This is Lost. So for today, I'm going to do Strut, and I may put a little bit of Magic Wand mixed in, but I think I'm going to mostly just wear Strut. I really like that color. So this is Strut, and I'm going to put a little bit of Magic Wand in the center. All I have left to do are my brows, and I've been using this Maybelline some of the time. I'm not going to lie, I don't love this. I think the color's a little off for me. I think this is a soft brown shade. They don't actually have it anywhere on the packaging. You just have like this color to reference. But this is their Micro Precise. It's very similar to like the Brow Wiz. And the formula is pretty soft. I like the formula. It's just that the shade I don't think is quite right for me. But I have been using it some. You can see it's kind of got like a warmer tone. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see. My eyebrows are so big and bushy. Well, it just broke mid-use. So it is, like I said, a very soft formula. I do like the formula. It makes your eyebrows going on really easy. If you don't like to have pretty dark, bold brows, you may not like it because it's pretty easy to go a little too ham with it. But overall, I do like it. The brow product I've really been enjoying is the Goof Proof Brow Pencil, and I have it in the shade 2, and then I recently just bought the shade 3. It's from Benefit, and I feel like the shade 3 really works. I've been kind of rocking like a darker brow lately, so I really like that shade in it, but just the wider tip is really easy to use. And I had the Anastasia Defina Brow that was kind of similar, and I didn't love it. Ooh, my eyebrows look really dark. But yeah, I didn't love the Anastasia one. That was that wider tip, but I really like the Benefit one. All right, well, this is the finished look. It is a pretty dark look, I would say, but if you do just use this bottom shade all over your lid, you don't use the base, you don't use any of the darker shades, then it is a very pretty eye look that you could wear every day, and you could wear with minimal face makeup and it's still okay, whereas this one I feel like you kind of have to wear a little bit of face makeup to even it out because your eyes are so dark. But I do want to talk about a little bit more about the formula of this liquid lipstick. It's an ultra satin, so I just don't want anybody to think it is a complete liquid lipstick. It's liquid, whereas it's melted down. It's very similar to like the Too Faced melted lipsticks that were in like the squeezy tubes, whereas it's not completely transfer resistant. If you touch your lips, you're going to have product come off, just like any other lipstick. It's just kind of more of the method, and then it has kind of a minimal, it's matte but comfortable kind of a shade. It's not super shiny, but it's not so dried down matte that you can like see all the creases in your lips. So I really like this formula, but if you are looking for something that's completely transfer proof, then this isn't quite what you want. But yeah, so this is the final look, and all the drugstore products I've really been liking. So definitely like the standout products that I really wanted to do this video because of are the L'Oreal sponge, the Revlon foundation. I remember people always would talk about this and I never would get it. But it is a really good foundation. I know people used to really love it, and now, you know, there's so many other products that nobody really goes to it, but I really like it. I like how it wears on my skin throughout the day. And then, of course, the Colourpop lipstick, and then these Revlon cream shadows, and this particular little trio from Wet n Wild and Silent Treatment I just think is so good. And again, this is like $2.99, so you just can't go wrong with buying it, and a lot of times these products go on sale from Wet n Wild. So definitely try it if you see it. I think it's so pretty. And I do want to show you the palette that it kind of is similar to. Okay, so right after I bought this, I had picked up this Nars in Thessalonique. And I got it because I really liked this shade. I mean, it's different than this, but it's still kind of similar. You can kind of see these two shades are pretty similar. But I've been reaching for this more than I have for this. Partially because it's a little bit shiny, and this is a little bit more everyday and easy to wear. But the formula of this is just so good. I forget how good Wet n Wild eyeshadows are until I start using them again. Alright, well that is the full look. I hope you enjoyed this look in this video and hearing about these products that I've really been liking. If you liked this kind of more laid back talk through video, not that I ever have really uptight videos, but if you did enjoy this video, give this video a thumbs up and let me know if you want to see more like this in the future. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, be sure to subscribe to see all my future content. I am going to be posting my last declutter video soon. It'll be all of my lip products, and that is a very big one to go through. So if you want to see a ton of lip products and which ones I keep and which ones I get rid of, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned because that should be going up in about a week. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and as always, thank you so much for watching.